If I don't do this, I will never get started. My memory card is very full up too. Hello. Sorry it's been such a long time since an update. I'm sorry the audio is still rubbish. That should get fixed this week though. Oh, we have moved, hence the new background. This is the bottom paddock. It's very exciting. There is the river. There are the dogs. There's a dog and a dog. They've got a new dog. I didn't get a new dog, but someone else got a new dog. So I'm taking the new dog for a walk. What else is going on? So we moved. In the process of moving, there was catastrophic bushfires. But global warming isn't a thing. So there's catastrophic bushfires. And you may notice that I'm wearing a hat and a jumper. So it's no longer bushfire season in Australia. Although that will soon change. There's only going to get worse. What else happened? Stop saying a lot. We have finally moved. That took months to organise. Didn't take months for us to move, it just took months for us to get out of the old house and get into this one. New house is very nice, still stuff everywhere. Things are happening, university is happening. Two of my subjects are really good, one of my subjects is really piss poor, just for useful involvement from lecturers. One of them is absolutely brilliant, the other one is really, really good because the lecturer gives us stuff. And the last one is rubbish because the lecturer doesn't give two hoots. And seemingly the teaching staff aren't given any support to do anything new. In the process of all this, of course, there is a worldwide pandemic happening. Who would have called that? On the topic of worldwide pandemics, if you want to know where the pandemic came from, you should go and do a Google search, or I will try and remember to put the link in the description box. You should go and watch the video by, what's his name, Dr. Michael Greger. He wrote a book called The Bird Flu Book, which you can still Google. It's still available, which deals with the bird flu pandemic from 10 years ago and explains the causes. He did all the research. Well, he didn't do all the research. He looked into all the research, the actual research as to where this stuff comes from. Lo and behold, it comes from where you would think it comes from. If you're me. Yeah, that's worth checking out. So, currently on lockdown in Australia. It's quite a nice lockdown though, because that's the view behind me. And you get to go for a walk. And there's no one apart from the dogs and the birds. And occasionally a cow. Occasionally there's some cows in the field, which I don't have to take care of. Although they do moo at me and try and walk up behind me and scare me regularly. Cows are cryptically cold-blooded creatures. They try and give you a heart attack. Yeah, so I moved at uni, doing uni stuff. Currently trying to organise to... Oh, leave the ducks alone, you stupid dog. Excuse me whistling. Come here! New dog doesn't listen at all, like, just no clue what's going on with the listening thing. Old dog still listens, new dog doesn't have a clue. Yes, what was I saying? So, still doing uni stuff. That's all going alright, I suppose. We'll get through that. We're halfway through trimester 1, which is interesting. Yeah, you can follow me on the Twitters if you want to, and see what I'm doing for my university work. If you want to know more about that, then send me a message in the Discords. Set up a Discord called the Isolation Ward, and just mainly so people could add a bunch of other people who might not be interested in other things. The back chatter for Ranger / Urban to Go Get is not particularly interesting to everyone who isn't doing that thing. Therefore, we wanted to separate it out so people could add whomever to it. Yeah. What was I going to say? Useful things. Doing my radio exams, starting off with foundation license exams, and trying to find bits and pieces for that. Seemingly, there is a very good book on archive.org, which is the old RSGB help manual, which is really, really good. There's a bunch of videos by a guy called Ron. I'm going to say it's Berntram, but I'm going to spell it wrong. I'll put the link in the description below, who takes you through the Australian version of the licensing course. It's very simple. If you have any experience with electrical work, then that's easy enough to follow through. You know, it's like, you know, he just points out what you need to know for the foundation license in Australia. I'm pretty sure it's pretty similar to the UK one. I'm pretty sure it's pretty similar to the US one. The only thing that might be different is the units of measurement for the Americans, because they live in imperial land for some bizarre reason, along with like whatever that country is in, wherever the hell it is that still works in anything else. I should have given my bearded brush before I came out, but I haven't. I have lost my runners into the on fitness wise. I've been doing shit tons of push-ups, so I set myself a little task of doing push-ups. For my social media course, I have been doing bits and pieces with gamification. So I've been looking at gamification of fitness specifically, and I've been tracking my my rambling about on a daily basis with Strava, which is useful but not very useful. Yeah, the GPS thing is pretty bloody good most of the time. I've had it cack out a couple of times, but otherwise it's pretty good. Elsewise good. Still doing the same thing with the Samsung app on the phone, which is also interesting. But yeah, just been waiting for the internet to get fixed, and the internet is finally kind of working. It's still not going through the ADSL line, but we have mobile broadband backup, which is now using, which is working. So that should mean I should be able to upload this in not a record amount of time, but it should at least upload, as opposed to previously when I was using all of my datas, which was not very fun. Is there cows across the other side of the paddock? There's a paddock over there, and there's dairy cows across there, so they must all be being dairied. Yeah. So that's interesting. Lots of gamification stuff on fitness. So I've been doing shit tons of push-ups, and I've been working on my pull-ups because I was out a pull-up bar at the farm, which is cool. Still can't do one good pull-up. Not a proper one, not what I consider a pull-up, but we'll keep working on it. Everyday little steps. Stop touching your face, Kim. We're in the middle of a pandemic virus. Yeah, so one of the plans is to, while the cows are in the paddock, hopefully they stay out for a little bit longer than I think they're going to, is to get some bushcrafty stuff happening. That's one of the plans, and record that. Zach V has sent me over, he's sending me over, you can't buy purple panda mics in Australia for some reason. Some God knows what reason. They don't import the damn things over here. Come here! Excuse me whistling. What are you doing over there? You came for once. Good little dog. The new little dog's name is Nara, which is a Wiradjuri word meaning embers, which is funny because she was born in the middle of the bushfire season. That's where I came from. Plus she's black and she's got brown spots on her feet, so she looks like a bunch of embers. She's very cute. She doesn't listen though. She's not a border collie. She's some weird, she's like a bloody mixed thing. It's like a mixed bag. She's got a staffy in her, and she's got kelpie in her. And they're the two most obstinate dogs in the world, if you know anything about dogs. Like, just got no clue as to what they're supposed to do. A border collie will listen to you and say, yep, I'll do that. And a staffy and a kelpie are both more like cats, and they'll just go, I'm not doing anything you tell me to do. You're an idiot. Me being an idiot meaning, like, you know, I'm going to go next door and get shot at by the farmer next door because I'm harassing his cattle. The dogs don't understand don't harass the cattle next door. We'll keep that in mind later when I report back the dog is no longer alive. Yeah. So do some bushcraft stuff. That's on the plans. I've got a mic in the thing, which means hopefully the mic situation will get a lot better. I'm going to try and rustle up a DIY gimbal so that the tracking is a hell of a lot better on both the 600D and it's a T3i in the UK, all the states. It's a 600D over here, the Canon camera of choice. There's been lots of research done in the last week about like really good resources for the ham radio, for amateur radio stuff, and how to build them, how to build antennas, just what you actually need. So that's pretty cool. I think watch the that's my tree I have to touch. I've worked out, I plotted the route around the paddock after about a week of doing this and recording it. and I've got it down to a fine art. I know exactly where 2.4 k's is to go for a run. Once I can find my runners, once I can find my trail runners, I will start running again. This requires me to be awake in the evening times and not start talking about radios with V or everyone. But yeah, so lots of information about radios coming out. Seemingly the FT101, in whatever model you can find it in, is very useful and very capable. It is a tube fed antenna, so the final stages and the pre-stage is that. I see, look, I've started using terms that don't make any sense to anyone else. There's the thing called a block diagram. I should do this. I should go through the course thing and explain the diagrams, because it's fascinating stuff. When you actually like look at it, it's very little information you need. You can do a thing called a block diagram. A block diagram just means you take out all of the little bits of the components in something, in an electronic device, and you define what that one thing is. So you might have an oscillator or a microphone or a whatever, and then you can sort of stick them together in your pretend pseudocode, and then you can think about what that thing does or what it will do when you can build it. So one of my plans is to, there's the logs over there, leave it alone. Gotta come down here with a chainsaw to get more firewood. I've actually got to go up there and get more firewood, and I've got to go up there and get more firewood. So I need to do some videos on the intro to radio stuff, while I still remember how much I rely on not knowing what this stuff is, before it becomes complacent in my mind that I know what something is. Explain it like I'm a Labrador would be a good idea, in Labrador speak. Important skill, because most things you watch in Radio Land are not remotely useful in terms of you have to have some level of basic knowledge to understand what the hell the person's even talking about before you can then gather what the hell is going on. So there's two great examples of that. There's a guy called VK2 PRC. If you search it for the VK2 PRC, which is his call sign on YouTube, you will find an explanation of an end-fed, which means the wire is fed at the end, an end-fed vertical antenna, vertical being that way. I have to remember in my head which way vertical is every time I do it. It's weird, isn't it? It's like longitude and latitude. You know, it doesn't stick until you think about it. Yeah, so there's an end-fed, so VK PRC does a really interesting video, which is about half the explanation you need in terms of how to build the antenna and what the antenna does and why you build an antenna this way, instead of just making it out to be voodoo. You know, what's the actual science? So you go look at Radio Prepper, which is Gil, G-I-L, video on, I think it's clearing up some confusion about end-fed antennas, and he does a great explanation of the hows and the whys and the wherefores of what radio you should use, the birds are all clucking because they can see the dogs, and I don't like them. They don't like me either. Yeah, Jill does a great explanation of how end-fed antennas work and why you need things like balance. Balance is just a device that takes a large impedance or a large resistance and drops it down to something useful. It's a transformer of resistance. So it takes your 3,000, so you know, your 3,000 ohm resistance in the end of your antenna where you're trying to get it from, and it puts it down to something useful like 50 ohms. And the reason why you want 50 ohms is because you would want a thing called the standing wave reflection, the SWR, of your radio to be. And now I have to stitch both those videos together. What was I saying? So Ron, who does the ResNet course, res.net, ResNet, radio education school, something like that, .net, has made all these really interesting little videos that explain stuff really, really well, and it just proves how little I know of my connectors. I know bugger all of my connectors. There's a bunch of different connectors you have to know for your course. What are you doing? Dog's doing something stupid. What are you doing? Whatever's behind there doesn't want you anywhere near it. But yeah, so very quickly you can get up to speed on in terms of radio stuff if you follow the foundation and then standard exams have a look at finding a radio, have a look at finding an SDR, which is a software defined radio, which is a little USB device that basically sucks in information off of your antenna, you know, which could be as simple as a length of wire correctly configured. Your SDR, excuse me, falling over, your SDR will suck in that, software defined radio will suck that in and allow you to watch or listen to all of the information that's being broadcast from around you, from all over the world, which is very cool. So a bunch of useful resources. Why does it stick like that, I wonder? How do they get up there? Whenever it fell off to get there. It's a weird one. Alright. Yeah. So there you go. So lots of radio stuff. Lots of going for walks around the paddock with the dogs. Try to make it an everyday thing, even when it's chucking down rain and blowing a hoolie. It's very much going into where we started over in Go last year for me. So it's getting flipping cold in the mornings. We're getting what do you call it, stuff on the grass? What's that stuff called? You get like water, it dries, it freezes on the grass. Dew? No, yes, we've got dew. It's obviously dew. Whatever it's called. It's when you go and batch up, when you go and get rid of Patterson's curse. Also known as Salvation Jane, depending on where you live. But yeah, so new plans, go and play with more radio stuff and get that sorted. Get all those bits and pieces sorted and hooked up and working as well as can be expected. Yes, and do some more bushcrafty stuff down here in the paddock while we can. Here comes the log. Here comes the log. Do some more bushcraft stuff and get that bits and pieces underway and do lots more filming of that, because that all needs doing for stuff. Keep checking off boxes at uni. As insurmountable as that feels at times, it's still good. And go from there. Right, I will now leave you, as I have been doing this for far too long. This was supposed to be a short video and a long one. Bringing it up long because it's filled up my data card. I will go and empty my data card on my phone, my SD card on my phone, because it's obviously chock full of useful information that I had from a long time ago that I haven't looked through, which means I need to go and clear it off and sort things out. Watch this space. The other thing I've got is as V did, a bunch of silent walks. You have some silent walks to look at, which I'll upload and get V to put on the channel, so you can go for a walk around the paddock with me but without me talking, which should be interesting. Get out of the water, it's too cold. Well, you'll all be telling me you're cold later and you want to get inside in front of the fireplace. Yeah, have an awesome day with whatever you can get up to. If you would like more videos of going for a walk, then tell me and I will make more videos of going for a walk. You know, it's pretty easy to just set up the camera and leave it running, so you can just have something pretty to listen to. I don't know, I think it's pretty to listen to it. I like living here. I like living in Australia. I don't like living in the city in Australia particularly, although it's interesting. I much prefer living out here. I don't want anything to do with anyone, so that's really nice. Yeah, I guess tomorrow we should probably deal with stuff that has happened for COVID-19 and bits and pieces like that. We should go in there somewhere, I guess. Have an awesome days. Enjoy yourselves. Be safe. Be nice to one another. Wash your hands. Don't cough on anyone. And stay the hell away from everyone else. Bye.